Good evening. How are you doing? My name is Joseph Googie. I am one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind. Y'all can see that back there, which is one of the which is a pre-physical therapy platform that helps you as a pre-PT get into PT school without wasting time or money. So if you are here because you are all about doing whatever you have to do to get accepted into a doctor or physical therapy program, you are in the right group. Savannah, good to see you. And so if you are new to this page, every single Thursday night, myself and Casey Coleman, who is the other co-founder of Pre-PT Grind, come on here live. Like, we like doing things live stream, mainly because we can interact with you. And you can ask us real questions, real time, and we can continue to serve you at a very high level. And we do that every single Thursday night between 9 and 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you don't want to miss that, just put that in your schedule and say, okay, every single Thursday night, let me be on the lookout. We have Raymond, we have Rachel. Good to see you all this evening. Let me let Casey on here. If you're live right now, can you guys just like stay here below? Not letting you know, but I want to shout out every single person that is on here live. If you're watching this on a replay, you can do it as well. Great to see you all. We have Cora, we have Raymond. Good to see you all. If you guys are here live, just stay here or me, and we'll see your name pop up in the comment, and we'll be able to say good evening, hello. But tonight we have a lot of. Casey, how you feeling, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling great. About a week ago, when we did our last pre-PT Chat Live, I was like starting to get sick. Like I remember what it felt like. It was a pretty fire live stream, if you ask me. But like I remember, like just afterwards is when everything fell apart. I had like a 102-degree fever. It was wild. It was wild. So stay healthy, y'all. But tonight I feel great. I feel great. Had a full day at the clinic. It was amazing. But tonight I'm excited about what we have to share. We have Ashley, we have Lakora. Good to see every single one of you. Sydney, Megan, good to see you all. Tonight's topic is a very important one. It's a very, very important one. If you're watching this live, if you're watching this on replay, this is one that I would highly recommend that you tag somebody else in. Might save. You may very well save maybe your own pre-PT journey or the journey of somebody else, just by what we're about to talk about tonight. Megan, good to see you as well. And tonight, at the end of this training, if you're watching this on replay, I have an announcement for something that will be happening on Saturday night of this week, and you will want to be there for it. And like I said, if you guys are watching this on the replay, if you're watching this live, you'll want to tag as many of your friends as possible so that they can get this. But tonight's live stream is not going to be long. It's not going to be long. We have a very clear message, and then we have an announcement, and we're out. Rashawn, good to see you. Tonight's topic is blank is never a good reason to make a bad pre-PT decision. Now, before I even give you what that title is, for y'all that are live right now, and if you're watching this on replay, would you mind telling me what some of the worst pre-PT decisions you've heard of are? It might be your own. It might be somebody else's. What are some pre-PT decisions that you have seen or have heard of, or maybe you've experienced yourself? Sometimes, best teacher, but some bad pre-PT decisions. You're like, hey, these were some pretty, wow, either I went down the path I shouldn't have, or somebody else. Like, what are some? Like, do you guys know of any? If you don't, that's fine. But if you do and you're here live, for those of y'all that are live right now, like, what are some of bad pre-PT decisions that you guys have seen other people make? AC, as they're commenting, like, what are some of the bad decisions that you may have seen other pre-PTs make? Because that's what's going to help us understand tonight's topic, like, at a much, much higher level.
Yeah, man, just psych themselves out. Give them unnecessary stress that they can't really change. Yeah. I mean, I can go into this, but, even let's just think about this, right? You can't really speed up the day of when PT school starts, right? you may want to speed up your acceptance, and it might make you feel better. It'll calm your nerves and everything. I get it, because shoot, I would want to be accepted like yesterday if I could. So I get that. I get that. If we want to speed up the acceptance, I'm with you. However, you can't really speed up the start date, right? So if you were accepted yesterday, what would you be doing differently today to prepare yourself for PT school? Would there be any difference? Because if you were accepted yesterday, yeah, you're going to feel high for a couple weeks maybe. But after that, you'll be like, so what do I do now? And what would you do now? Would you start preparing for PT school? Would you start looking for housing? Would you start studying anatomy? Would you start getting to know the people in that community? Would you start getting to know your class? Whatever that is. What would you start doing if you were already accepted? And if you're not accepted yet, why aren't you doing those things to prepare yourself for your acceptance?
Wow.
You're being impatient in the wrong ways. You're being impatient. You're thinking about everything that can go wrong instead of preparing for everything that can go right. You're like, oh my gosh, I just want to be accepted. And I get it. Trust me, I do. But we've gone through this before. After you get accepted, then other thoughts start coming through your mind. 3 weeks later, you're like, oh shoot, I got to pay for PT school. I got to find out. Like, the journey's not over. It's not. You didn't start PT school yet. For some of you, it might be contingent on if you get a certain grade in this class, if you pass the GRE, if you still got to finish some stuff for some of you. So you can't speed that up. We may want to speed up the acceptance, and I get it, but you can't speed up anything else. So why are you being impatient about the wrong things? So if you're accepted, what would you do to prepare? If you're not accepted, why aren't you doing those things now to start preparing for your acceptance? Oh my gosh, I'm in the waiting period. I'm in free fall. What do I do? If you were accepted yesterday, what would you do? Because you can't do anything. There's nothing else you can do. You can hound the schools and annoy them, but we teach you how to build better relationships than that. But that's just what came to mind when we talked about this topic. That's the first thing. I'm like, you can't. Impatient. I get it, but after being through this, now I don't really get it. So that's just my little spiel on it. What do you think?
Man, spot on. Casey said the word. The title tonight is Impatience, Never a Good Reason to Make a Bad Decision. Before I go on further, I want y'all to comment that below. Every single person that is watching this live right now. One thing I've learned is the fact that, like, there are multiple ways to learn, right? You can hear something, right? You can see something. So right now you're hearing and seeing, I guess, even though we don't have any props. But when you're doing something actively, like writing it down or saying it out loud, if you're yelling back at the live stream right now, you're like, yeah, Joseph, impatient, like I want you to take action, because here's the thing. The honest truth is, Casey and I are physical therapists, so our goal is to make sure that y'all get to the point where we're at, right? So we don't need to learn this stuff for getting into PT school. We want y'all to master it so y'all can dominate your journey. So if you're watching live, I want you to just be a little active with this. So comment below. Impatience is never a good reason to make a bad pre-PT decision. If you're watching this on replay, I'm inviting you to do the same thing. Impatience is never a good reason to make a bad pre-PT decision. So just comment that below. Comment that below. That's for you. That's for you. Like, that's for you to acknowledge, okay. Like, because we're about to break that down a little bit here. Here's what normally happens. In case you video, what normally happens, Kyle Rice, good to see you. Melissa, good to see you. James, good to see you. Jens, Gail, Rashawn, good to see you all. But what happens is, as pre-PTs, like Casey hit it, like, we start to, raise your hand if you guys have gotten to the point where maybe you're applying right now and you start to anticipate what's going to happen. You kind of get a little nervous. Maybe it's like you're breathing a little heavier.
might not be sleeping as long. Maybe you wake up, look at your email. Man, if I got an email back from my school, maybe you're checking every single lunch break. And oh my goodness, this school I applied 2 days ago and they still haven't responded back to me, Casey. I'm freaking out. freaking out. Like, it's normal. It's normal for you to feel that. Feel that because you care. But the honest truth is, it gets to a point where you actually start like getting impatient. Now, what does that do? What does that, Justin? Good to see you. What does that do? It creates anxiety because you're starting to tell yourself, okay, like, why are we even impatient? Okay, hold on. Let's break this down a little bit, y'all. Let's break this down. Someone might be saying, hey, Joseph, I'm just impatient because I'm excited for it to happen. Well, what you're doing is you're making it sound like you already know it's going to happen. The honest truth is, if you already felt like it was done, it was a done deal, you actually wouldn't be impatient. Have you thought about that? Like, let me put it to you this way. Cash, what's up? Like, let me put it to you this way. If someone sat in front of you, Justin, and told you, hey man, listen, I actually have an acceptance letter waiting for you. Just go through all this stuff. Don't even worry about it. Like, you've already done all the right things, and you're good to go. You are good to go. Just get through this process, apply, retake your GR, all this stuff. It's waiting for you. Like, it's done. Like, they already had it printed. You looked at it. You couldn't touch it yet, but you looked at it, and you're like, okay. Like, all I have to do is just go through this. Would you actually be impatient? Let me know below. Would you still be impatient? Yes or no? The honest truth is you would. You would be excited. But impatience usually comes when we feel like the worst case scenario is still bound. And we just need S to come that our fear of what could possibly be wrong can be bad. That's what impatience really is. That's what impatience really is. And what happens is when we get impatient, we end up crazy. So we get impatient with the cycle. Zach, good to see you. We get impatient with choosing school. We get impatient with waiting for schools to respond. Silly mistakes that are made is we start desperately reaching out to the school every single other day saying, hey, I applied. Is it this? Is it that? You see your friends got accepted into that school. You have not gotten a response yet, so you actually become an annoying applicant. It actually turns off the program. They might have been interested in you, but it turns them off. It's a bad pre-PT decision. Impatience with giving up. I don't get into basically. So because I fear that the same thing is going to happen again, I'm going to act out of impatience. And I'm just going to apply like faster. Just, okay. I'm just going to do, like, everything is so rash. Y'all have to understand that every single one of y'all's stories is so different. But regardless of where you're at, you've heard us say it many times before. Like, you can get into PT school. Like, is it work? Yes. But regardless of where your story is, you can. But you have to understand that, one, we can't play impatient. Like, that's just not going to cut it because it creates so much stress and unnecessary anxiety that it actually throws you off from actually doing the things that will help you get locked into a program. But even more importantly, it, like, ultimately, if we're impatient, like we said, it allows you to make some stupid decisions. I'm impatient with the process taking too long. You know, here's a story I told a student yesterday. This is going to be very important for y'all to hear. I was on the phone with a student yesterday, and they were kind of freaking out a little bit. It's normal, guys. Like I'm not trying to be harsh, like, but understand that it could lead to some mistakes that you don't have to make, some unforced errors. But I was talking to this student, they were like, oh my goodness, like, I just want to find out, I just want to this. And I said, let me tell you something. In my PT program, 2 of the top 5 students in my class, I'm talking grades, I'm talking everything. 2 of the top 5 students in my class, my graduating Doctor of Physical Therapy class, were accepted 1 week before the program started. 1. 7 months, not in September, while the program will start in August of the next year, not in October, not in November, not in December, not in January, not in February. Y'all, I'm talking 1 week. Neither one of them even lived in the state that the school was in. 1. And a lot of times we start seeing other students getting in. We see our timeline and we're like, oh man, worst possible case scenario, I'm not getting it. No, listen, you have to start telling yourself that your acceptance letter is a done deal. Like it's already done. So start acting like it. If someone had told those 2 students, y'all are gonna be the top 5, part of the top 5 of the doctorate program this coming cycle, even though it's still June and you haven't gotten accepted into a PT program yet, y'all are about to be like one of the top 5 students in this program with this cat called Joseph and all these other people. Like, if they had known that, do you think they would have been impatient? Absolutely not. They would have done exactly what Kate said. They would have acted like they already got accepted. They would have taken the actions of the accepted. That's actually why we have the acceptance system. Well, so we have these wristbands, right? So our students need to get it. But it says, I am the 12K. So the reason why we call them the 12K Nation and all that stuff is mainly because we want them to start saying, yo, my acceptance is a lot. Now, they're also doing the right things, but my acceptance is already a lot. So they got to start acting like it. That's the biggest problem we make as pre-PTs. We don't act like we've already been locked into a program. And when we don't, we act impatiently. When we are impatient, we make some stupid decisions. Stupid decisions look like, oh, I'm going to start sending all these emails to this program. What's up, Jimmy? What's up, Justin? What's up, Christian? I'm going to send all these impatient emails to the school. I'm going to ask them. I'm going to pull the plug. Maybe the school's, maybe like you start doing all these things that are unnecessary. And then all you have left is what ifs. What if I would have applied? What if I would have followed through the application process? What if I would have just waited? Like, this happens all the time. Literally, y'all, like, my front desk at my clinic, like, this is last year, 2018. My front desk at my clinic in Hyde Park, Tampa, for those of y'all wondering, come through if y'all are around. But like, my front desk was applying to PT school. And her biggest thing was, she was like, Joseph's like, I'm on the waiting list, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like, I told her what to do, but she got accepted like a week and a half before her program started. She's currently in her 2nd year of PT school, y'all. This happens all the time. But if you play impatient, then you'll end up making a decision that could actually take that career away from you. If that makes sense, just comment makes sense. If that makes sense, if you're like, kind of makes sense. Just say it makes sense. Like, let me know below. I want to make sure that this is actually making sense. Because Casey and I want every single one of you to go through this process knowing, listen, like, all I need to know is that I'm taking the right steps towards getting accepted. Those right steps are not just like talking to your parent and say, hey, what do you think about my cycle? They don't know anything about your application cycle, so don't ask them. It's not going to my advisor and say, hey, so what do you think of my low GPA? They're probably going to tell you just pick something else. It happens all the time. Find clarity and understand that just like those winners in the acceptance system, you are part of the accepted. Like, there's roughly 12,000 people that are accepted into PT school every year. You are part of that number. Start claiming it. But you're not claiming it for just the sake of it, to psych yourself out or to feel good, but it's because it changes your actions. It takes away the impatience. And you start doing the things that you would do had you gotten that acceptance letter yesterday. It's already done for you. Like, you just have to wait for it to come, maybe in 2 months. You might actually be like those students that got it 1 week before PT school started. You know what? Bump that. Casey had one of his classmates start PT school 1 week into the school. Am I lying, Casey?
That's right. That's right.
He's physical therapy today.
He sure is.
There we go. There we go. There we go. So if that makes sense, I want y'all to claim that. But that's one thing I want y'all to just internalize and ask yourself, am I being impatient? Everything that I'm panicking about, am I being impatient? Am I wasting so much time being impatient that I ultimately do something that's going to take this whole cycle away from me? I want you to also ask yourself, who's applying this cycle? Which version of yourself is applying? The impatient version of yourself and the patient version of yourself gets completely different results. It's you. Don't go through this process and say, oh, it's not meant for it. No. You just have to decide which version of yourself is applying. The patient version spends more time like acquiring knowledge and information from the people that have done it. The patient version is so in tune with building relationships when they go on campus visits, when they're reaching out to programs, that they actually don't jeopardize or sabotage their chances of getting into a program. The patient version of yourself notices, ooh, my top school was my number one, but it actually might not be the one that I'm called to go to. So maybe it's this other program. So I'm going to actually fine-tune my journey, knowing that I'm still getting there. My goal is to get into PT school. That's all that matters. The patient version of yourself would make all the right moves. And if you don't know what that version of yourself is, like Casey said, if you would have gotten your acceptance letter yesterday, what are the actions that you would take today? Those are the actions of the patient version of yourself. The reason why Casey and I are successful with pre-PT grind, with everything we do, we play this thing patient. Patient doesn't mean that I expect to wait forever. Patient means that I'm acting in a way that already claims victory over whatever it is that I'm doing. Like, so you just show up every single day. You show up. 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 So at the moment where y'all get your acceptance letter, you can't look around and have, like, no one will ever say that you did not deserve it. And every single one of y'all do. Every single one of you do. Balance between hunger, hustle, and patience. Honestly, hunger and hustle are not like separate from patience. Casey and I right now have a dream. And our dream is to like completely change. Y'all, we're just telling you this now. Like, I'm gonna just put it out there so y'all understand what patience looks like. Like, our dream is that the physical therapy profession looks more like the patients that it serves. And right now it doesn't. It doesn't do that. And so what we also realize, a lot of times it's the representation of those people. And so what we're willing to do is we're willing to literally like pour out our hearts and help anybody and everybody, regardless of where they're at, getting into PT school. But we also know that that means that we have to play this game for a very long time. So what we've decided, we've decided, hey, we're not going to do this for like 2 years and then say, all right, we did our thing. We're going to be patient, but we're also very hungry in the sense that we put in the work. We put in the work. So being patient doesn't mean you just sit idle and wait. Being patient means that you claim that everything you are striving for is already sealed and done, and now you're going to act like it. It means that when you're talking to schools, you're talking to them at a level that says, you know what, like, I'm not going to act in any rash way. When you're not accepted from a PT program, you're not, I mean, of course it's painful, but you're not saying, hey, guess it's not meant to be. When you don't pass the GRE, when you don't get a 300 plus on the GRE the first, second, third, or fourth time, you're not going to say, you know what, this is probably a sign. Patience is a mindset. Patience is a way of approaching what you're doing without feeling like you have to look for a plan B. That's really what it is. And if y'all can do that, then y'all, we cannot wait to welcome every single one of y'all into this profession. And now for the announcement. This Saturday night at 11:59 p.m. Comment. If y'all are live right now, comment 11:59 p.m. Comment below. 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's forget it, Justin. Justin says, I claim my top school every day I drive past it. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. But comment below. 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. This Saturday night. So y'all better be by your phone, by your computer, by whatever. But at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Casey and I are releasing something that will allow y'all to represent the pre-PT nation. So up until this point, what we've done is we've had things that say pre-PT grind, all that stuff, whatever, which is cool. But we want y'all to be proud to be a pre-PT in general. Does that make sense? We want y'all to, being a pre-PT, we want people to see y'all at Starbucks and be ooh. You're pursuing PT? We want it to create conversation. So we've actually partnered up with Physio Memes to create a brand new pre-PT grind swag store for every single one of you. And we are releasing it for the first time ever on Saturday night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. That means that y'all are in the West Coast. If you're in California, that is 8:59 p.m. your time. All right? So 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, look out for the post. We might also have a little discount for everyone that, takes part in the first 24 hours. But we're excited for this because for pre-PTs, this is massive because, as pre-PTs, this is an identity. This is not I think a lot of us see us as this is just a transition. It's just something we're just doing, hoping to get somewhere else. Y'all are in limbo to most people. This is part of your identity right now. You are a pre-PT. In the same way that Casey and I are PTs, you are a pre-PT. That is who you are. Y'all better rep it hard. But we want to give y'all the opportunity. So we got swag gear for days. We're talking swimming trunks, shirts, hats. Yeah, it's about to be ridiculous. It's about to be ridiculous. And we're going to keep adding lots of stuff to it. But we want y'all to have the opportunity. As y'all are waiting, remember we said everything tonight is about being patient. As y'all are patiently waiting to get accepted into your Doctor of Physical Therapy programs, we want y'all to rep it hard. Let the people know what you're already claiming is yours. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, comment makes sense below. Comment makes sense below. And every single person that was commenting on here, we'll make sure y'all are tagged inside of that post on Saturday night. But y'all, let's freaking get it. We want y'all to rep it big, rep it hard. You'll be seeing us wearing it all the time. I wear hats all the time, so I can't wait to have my accepted hat or my 12K hat or y'all listen, it's about to be ridiculous. It's about to be ridiculous. So I can't wait. I hope y'all are excited. And this is the first time we've ever announced it. So y'all are whoever's live right now, you guys, this is the first time you guys are hearing it. But 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday night, let's freaking get it. Let's swag y'all up. But we want you to represent everything you are now. You are a pre-PT. This is not a transition. This is a significant part of your journey. So claim it, own it, represent it. Let's freaking get it. That's all I got tonight, Casey. What you got, brother?
That's it. Go get your stuff. 11:59 Eastern Saturday night, meaning all Sunday. All Sunday. Cash, mob, the store, and represent. That's it.
Well, I'm here for my stuff, so I can't wait. I can't wait, man. Y'all have a good one. Much love. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Tag somebody in this. Trust me, somebody's going to need to hear this message tonight. Y'all have a